Hello, everybody. This week, we're going to be talking about something really important. This week, we're going to be talking about stress. And the reason why I chose this is because I started to notice an increase of people in my practice coming in with some serious issues. And I thought, what better thing to talk about this week but stress? And so everybody comes in and with different, issues that come in my doors, whether it's about eating disorders, addictive behaviors, or just different things going on in their lives. And so I wanted to focus on how do you deal with those issues. And so I decided to go online and do my own little investigation and figure out what were the statistics on what's the top 10 things that stress people out. And this is what I found. So the top 10 stressful events in people's lives. And this is what I found out. It says death of a spouse, number one issue. Jail sentence, death of an immediate family member committing suicide, getting into debt beyond your means of repayment, periods of homelessness, immediate family member getting seriously ill, unemployment, which is the head of the household being unemployed, not everybody else, just the immediate head of household, a divorce, and the breakup of a family. So that's the top 10 stressful events that would impact someone. That's what I came up with. So that's the stressful part as far as events that occur in people's lives. And what I wanted to talk more about is when people get stressed out, what happens after that? What impacts that person once, they come into my doors? A lot of times they come in and they have anxiety and they have depression. They start doing addictive behaviors, whether it's eating, gambling, doing sexual behaviors, whatever it is to escape from the reality of what's happening in their life. So beyond that, one of the things of that top 10 stressful events in a life is suicide. Because when your mind only can take so much and you finally like, okay, I got to check out. And sometimes that checking out goes beyond just addictive behaviors or depression or anxiety. There comes a time in everybody's life, everybody goes through this, where you finally think to yourself, I'm kind of done. Like, what if I wasn't here anymore? What if I just kind of just left? And so I went and looked it up and I started thinking, how much people, what is the statistic on that too? There's always statistics done right on everything. And so what was the statistic even on that? And so I figured out what that was too. So interesting. They say that it said, in fact, it is reported an estimated 8.3 million adults have suicidal thoughts. And that's just in the past year, while an estimated 2.2 million adults made actual plans. And so it's a high number, but this is the reason why. Everybody has suicidal thoughts. Everybody, even if it's fleeting. And fleeting, all that means is like it comes in and you're like, what if? And then it goes out. So it's like, yeah, okay, I'm thinking about it. And the 2.2 million adults is where they actually made plans. Like, okay, I'm gonna go get my coffee at Starbucks, and then I'm gonna go get my gun, and then I'm gonna pack up, all my stuff, and then I'm gonna go out to Red Rock, and I'm gonna go shoot myself after I drink my, my grande skinny vanilla latte at Starbucks. That's what I'm gonna do. That's a plan. And that's why it went from 8.3 million to 2.2 million, because there's a difference of thinking the what if and then coming up with a plan, And so how can you tell if someone is thinking about it? This is how you can tell, because nobody actually wants to commit suicide. Nobody actually wants to do it. the difference is that you have a feeling of helplessness and hopelessness, you know, where you feel like there's a desperation, like I can't take it anymore. And so how can you tell is that they usually start dropping hints, you know, usually somebody will tell you, you know, say like Auntie Jane or Uncle Joe is talking to you and you're like, you know, it'd be so much easier if I just wasn't here. Or, you know, it would make it so life so much easier for everybody if I just wasn't here anymore, you know? So those are the dropping hints. You're better off without me if blah blah blah. You know, that's how you start to know, because they start dropping hints. You know, a lot of times they start isolating from everybody. It's not just depression and anxiety. They start isolating from everybody else because they can't handle stuff, you know? They usually start taking care of stuff. So they're tying up loose ends, so to speak. So all of a sudden they're paying off all their bills. They start checking into, you know, they start checking into their life insurance policies. They start making up wills. You start noticing stuff like that. That's their tying up of loose ends, you know. You start noticing things like that. It's like the preparation of things. You notice they start having trouble sleeping, so insomnia, the increase of anxiety and depression. What do you want? You start hearing them. They start seeming like this desperation of helplessness and hopelessness when you start talking to them, you know. And you start thinking to yourself, your gut feeling starts telling you, wow, something's wrong, you know. And so what do you do? What do is you talk to them. You talk to them. You have you connect with them. You know, do the human touch. You know, if your gut feeling is telling you something is wrong with your friend or your family member, reach out to them because they need somebody. You know, that's what you do. Tell them that you're there for them. You know, like if you ever need to talk, you know, make sure you call me. You know, Mary, make sure you call me. Don't worry about it. You know, even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, if you can't sleep and you're stressing out, make sure you call me. Don't be ashamed about it. Just call. Text me. You know, don't worry about it. You know, that's what they want to hear, that they're not alone, that they have support. Because right now, if they're feeling helpless and hopeless, they feel like nobody's there for them. You need to make sure you're telling them that you're there for them. You know, ask them, are you gonna kill yourself? Like, sounds like something's going on. Are you gonna hurt yourself? Because I don't want you to be hurting yourself now. Even if it's like in a joking kind of way, then say it. If that's what you think, come out and say it. But say it even if you're like not sure, just ask. You know, it sounds like you want to hurt yourself. Are you thinking about that? Say it with empathy, you know. Assess if they have the means. You know, do you have a lot of pills around, or do you got a gun around you that you have access to? You want to assess if they have the means to hurt themselves. You know, if they're telling you they're going to hurt themselves, take it seriously. Don't be like, oh, they just said they're going to kill themselves, whatever. Take it seriously. If that's what they're telling you, take it seriously. You know, don't blow it off. Try to have them commit to no self-harm for a specific period of time. So if they're telling you they want to hurt themselves, at least try to have them commit and say, okay, Mary, I know you just told me that you want to hurt yourself. Can you at least commit to me that you're not going to hurt yourself for the next 24 hours of 48 hours, please, so we can get through this, so we can talk about it, you know? And get help for them. You know, you're not a therapist. You don't know what you're doing either. You know what I mean? You're probably scared too now, because now they just told you something that you're holding on to and you're like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do with this? So you yourself are probably freaking out too, you know, because now you have this information that they just gave to you and you're like, now what, you know? So go get help too, you know. Now that you got this information, now it's your responsibility because you're trying to save a life too now. So use the National Suicide Hotline number. You know, it's 1-800-273-8255. use the national hotline number. If they're not going to use it, you use it. So at least they can give you the information that you need so you can help this person. You're not alone either. Even though they, gave you the information, you need help too now because you got to help this person. So make sure you help that person too. The main thing is know that none of us is alone in all of this. There is support out there. You just got to utilize the resources. So anyway, that's the discussion for the week. Know that stressful events occur every single day in our life. It is a horrible thing. It's hard. Life sucks sometimes. I mean, I get it. It is what it is. But know that you're never alone. There's support out there, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's just that we have to put ourselves out there so that we can get the support that we need. Sometimes we think we're alone, but the reality is we're not. We just have to put our hands sometimes to get the help that we need. So anyway, I hope you have a good week, and until next week, have a good one.